watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
The Rebels fight on at USC. Straight ahead in the RebZone, a closer look at a solid effort against the 15th ranked Trojans. Head coach Tony Sanchez is in studio to break it down. Plus, a preview of Saturday's home opener against UTEP. And a feature on UNLV quarterback Armani Rogers, who talks maturity and expectations. No horsing around in the RebZone. We're fired up for the start of the college football season right now.
This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening. Welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Bolinger alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez after a nice effort down in Los Angeles against USC. And I think any Rebel fan that watched this game, if they don't come away knowing that this is a much improved Rebel football team, then they weren't paying attention. You guys have put out a good effort.
There's no doubt. I mean, we did a lot of really good things in the game. Obviously, really disappointed with the outcome. Felt like we gave ourselves a chance to win that game against a really good football team. But overall, you know, we went back in and we've watched film on it already, and you know, there's a lot of little things we can clean up. But I'll tell you what, phenomenal effort. Physicality was there. It was really good watching our O and D lines be able to get in there and compete in the trenches. And then really our perimeter play was really good for most of the game. You know, our corners did a really good job of tackling, being physical, challenging balls. So overall, there's a lot of good stuff to take from it, and we just got to grow from here.
Let's go right to the highlights here, starting with the first half, where the Rebels came out and made a statement.
Settle in. You understand? Settle in. The best thing about being a warrior is you never enjoy the beginning of the war. You enjoy the spoils after the war. You understand that, guys? So focus on the task at hand. One play at a time. Dominate the 6 seconds in front of you. He gets the better of you during that 6. What do? Regroup, rally, and win the next 6. As I believe in you, I've got nothing to worry about.
All of the pageantry and build-up for USC at the LA Coliseum as everyone was hyped up for kickoff. UNLV received the opening kick, and on the first play from scrimmage, Lexington Thomas fumbles and USC recovers for a nightmare start. But the defense came out and made a statement, forcing a 3-and-out, which led to a Chase McGrath 46-yard field goal and an early 3-0 Trojan lead. Later in the quarter, USC put together a drive, but the defense shut the door once again, forcing another field goal to make it 6-0. The Rebels got the ball back, and they faked the reverse. Thomas keeps it himself, and he turns the corner and is gone like a flash of lightning. 72 yards for the touchdown as UNLV led 7-6. The Trojans had 3rd and 7 at the Rebel 43, but a brutal pass interference call flipped the script from UNLV getting the ball back to ultimately another field goal as USC took the lead at 9-7. The Rebels appeared to be stopped with a 3-and-out, but on 4th and 1 at their own 34, the gutsy call for the fake, and they give the ball to Evan Ostry, who goes 36 yards to the SC 30. 3rd and 11 from the 31. Armani Rogers to Kendall Keys over the middle, and he breaks free, sprinting to the end zone. The Rebels were fired up as they had the lead at 14-9. The Trojans would add another field goal to cut it to 14-12 when the Rebels put themselves in position to score again. But Keys would drop a touchdown pass on his shoulder, and Evan Pantels missed a 38-yard field goal. UNLV came away empty-handed. SC took advantage. Stephen Carr runs right, gets free, and Dalton Baker would save a touchdown with a tackle at the 9. After another questionable pass interference call in the end zone, USC pounded it in on the next play for their first touchdown of the game and a 19-14 lead. A solid first half for the Rebels on both sides of the ball as UNLV was only down 5 at the half.
You have the fumble on the first play of scrimmage, but then the defense forces the 3 and out, and I think it kind of just settled everything in. The defense was solid that whole first half.
Yeah, it's definitely not the way you script the beginning of a year, you know. So that was unfortunate. Lex doesn't normally put the ball on the ground, but he did. And it was great to see the defense go out there, settle down, and get the 3 and out, and force them to, hold them to a field goal. That was a big deal.
The ground game, bread and butter. We know that. The reverse, the fake reverse, and getting Lex in space, and he was able to get in space a lot in this game, but that was just something that maybe changes the complexion of the USC and how they approach what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you get Lex in space, you got a chance to score. You know, we've run reverse quite a few times, and that's part of what people scout against us. And the fake reverse, I believe it's the first time we've run that in a while. So that was good getting him out there, and he took off and turned into a heck of a play. It was fun to watch.
Let's talk about the fake punt here, because you're deep in your own territory there at the 34. It's a gutsy call. And it ultimately led to a touchdown by Kendall Keys. Take us through the thought process on wanting to do the fake right there.
Well, going into it, we knew they'd be really aggressive. They know they've got a bunch of great athletes out there, so sometimes, that aggressiveness can get you in trouble too. So we waited to see what they did the first time they rushed us, and they did a 44 stack and brought everybody. So in our own, area, we felt very comfortable that they did not think we would do that, and they gave us the 44 look, so we called it and went for it, and obviously turned it into a really good gain and led to a touchdown. So being a team like that, you got to take some chances.
And that touchdown pass by Armani just threading right the knee.
Yeah, he did. It's funny. You look at the completion percentage. It's a little bit lower than he actually played. He had a really good game. When you talk about balls on the money like that ball he threw the Keys, got to make that play. There's a couple others like that during the game that were dropped, and a couple got batted down. But when we watch the film today and we look at his decision-making process, where he's putting the ball, he really did a good job.
So the key swing of the game, in me watching it, was that series where Keys drops the touchdown pass that's on his shoulder. On the very next play, Pantel's misses a field goal. They go down and score. You can't come up empty-handed against any team, but especially against the 15th ranked team in the country.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You got to win some of those 50-50 balls, and that's kind of what it was. And you like Keys to make that play. He's a great player. He'll make more plays. But then the field goal, it's not a real difficult field goal. I mean, you just got to put it right down there, and unfortunately we miss it, and then they go down and score. So it's kind of a 10-point swing when you look at it. I believe you get that field goal, you keep the momentum, then you can use strategy on that kick and hold those guys. So they took the lead, but we were still right in the ball game.
Well, let's go to the second half right now, where the game was tight well into the fourth quarter.
Both teams exchanged possessions to start the second half. Then USC started to put a drive together, and once again the Rebel defense clamped down. Gabe McCoy comes up with a big sack to force a punt. UNLV appeared to have something going as Thomas gets a crucial first down, but near midfield on third down, the pocket collapses on Rogers and he's sacked. We headed to the fourth quarter with the score still 19-14 USC. But on the first play of the fourth quarter, Daniels goes up top to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he hauls it in with his man beat for a touchdown to open it back up to 26-14. USC got the ball right back, and UNLV thought they got their first turnover as they smothered Daniels and knocked the ball out. But replay showed his knee was down, and the Rebels had to settle for a sack. On 3rd and 7, Daniels to Trayvon Sidney for a first at the 15. On the very next play, Aka Cedric Ware turns the corner, and he goes flat out in the end zone for a touchdown. That would make it 33-14. The Rebels fought right back. Rogers keeps it himself and rolls 33 yards to get the ball in the red zone at the 10. 3rd and goal at the 5. Rogers flips it out to Giovanni Fo'olo, who gets into the end zone for the score, and UNLV was within 33-21 with just 8:06 left. But the Rebels could get no closer as USC scored the final 10 points. UNLV racked up 405 yards of total offense and outrushed the 15th ranked team in the nation 308-219. A lot of positives to take away in a 43-21 defeat.
Fumbling, that's not me. I was just a little excited, a little antsy. But I just told myself, I told the team, one time I told the team that I got y'all. Y'all know I got y'all. That's all. Just don't let them do it on myself.
We knew who we had to play at hand, and I feel like we just wanted to go out there and compete from the start of the game to the finish of the game. And I feel like little things changed the momentum of the game to affect the way that we were playing. But at the end of the day, I feel like our players wanted to keep fighting throughout the whole game, and none of us wanted to give up. And we were going to fight to the end of the game, and that's what we did.
We all do our 111. We see the outcome. We don't know what's going to happen. We can't tell the future, but we play together, play hard, play fast, and see what happens.
So a scoreless third, you're only down 5 going into the fourth, but it did seem like the defense maybe ran out of gas a little bit there in the final, especially 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, the offense kind of sputtered a little bit in the third quarter, and well, both offenses really did. 19-14, it stayed that, that was halftime score, stayed there through the third quarter, and then right at the beginning of that fourth quarter, you see that big touchdown play that gave them the lead. And, you get opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. So early in the game, when you got a chance to go ahead and put some stress on them, change the way they play, you got to take advantage of that. And we didn't. And at the end, they kind of pulled away a little bit. You saw us wither a little.
It was a clean game for the Rebels, though. Only 4 penalties, just the 1 turnover on that first play. That's a huge takeaway as this team moves forward to play a clean game.
Well, one of the things we've been talking about is this is an older, more mature team. It's a veteran team, and I think you saw it in the way they kept their composure, the way they played, the way they competed, executed at times, things like that, playing a clean game. A lot of that has to do with just having so many veterans on the football field and good leaders.
Even though it's a loss, how can you build on what you saw here on Saturday?
Well, one of the biggest things we talked about as a staff today, and we'll talk to the guys about it when we bring them in tomorrow and have meetings, is we played at a very high level. We played very physical football. We played fast football, intense football. We played smart football. We can't regress. We need to now build from that. And no matter who we're playing or who the opponent is, if we hold ourselves to that same fast physical standard, it's a good thing for us. We need to do that, and I think we can have a hell of a year.
On to the next one now, and we're just getting started in the RebZone. Up next, a preview of Saturday's home opener against UTEP. What are the keys to beating the Miners? Find out next as the RebZone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
It is time for the home opener this Saturday night at Sanborn Stadium with a 6 o'clock kickoff against UTEP. UNLV will honor the 50th anniversary of the first ever football team at UNLV, which back then was called Nevada Southern University. Season ticket and 3-game plan holders can pick up this commemorative pennant during the Rebel Block Party. That happens before the game, and there's going to be a big fireworks show for the fans at halftime. The most important thing, though, going to be this year's squad taking care of the Miners.
UTEP comes into this game as a program in transition. A new coach, new system, and in the process of recruiting players to fit what they're trying to do. That will take time. But as of right now, the Miners are struggling. Holders of the nation's longest losing streak at 13 games, including a 30-10 loss Saturday to FCS School Northern Arizona. Offensively, UTEP has an overhauled line that includes 2 freshmen and a sophomore that gave up 5 sacks against the Lumberjacks. The running game also struggled, with the backs gaining only 20 yards on 17 carries. One worrisome spot for the Rebels could be quarterback Kai Loxley, who didn't start but came in on the 3rd series and played the rest of the game. Loxley is a former Texas Longhorn who's a dual-threat quarterback and the son of former New Mexico head coach and current Alabama offensive coordinator Mike Loxley. Defensively, the Miners gave up a couple of big plays, but only 318 yards. This will be a hungry team coming into Sam Boyd. It will be important for the Rebels to get off to a fast start.
So this is an interesting one to prepare for because you have a new coach with new systems. You only have that one game yesterday of true tape on this squad with this coaching staff. How do you kind of prepare for the Miners?
Well, you're going to watch, obviously the game they just played, but then you're going to watch where their coordinators came from, kind of get an idea of their personalities, what their tendencies are, and what they do. And they're a team that's obviously in transition, like you said, and, that first road game is a great opportunity because I remember experiencing it myself, going on the road and kind of getting away from all the media and all that stuff and locking in your hotel room. So they'll be ready to go and ready to play. I know they're disappointed in the outcome of that game, and, we just got to worry about ourselves. I mean, if we go out and we play at a high level and do the things we're capable of doing, we'll have a great opportunity to have success, but nothing's guaranteed, so we got to do a great job of preparing for them, just like we did SC.
We talked about fast start there in the package. That is important to kind of get a team that has struggled and get on them early and try and get the scoreboard flipped around to where they're going to have to play catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can start the way in which we did on defense last game, that's a big thing. Offensively, we need to start a little bit faster. It took us a minute to get that first down. We had a turnover, then we had a 3 and out, and then we kind of found our legs and went down for a score. So you'd like to see the offense be a little bit more productive early, and I think that alone will just kind of charge everybody up.
That's a 6 o'clock kickoff out of Sanborn. We hope to see you out there. Straight ahead, we have a feature on the man at the controls of the offense, Armani Rogers, a dual threat quarterback. But what will make him better this year? He tells us in just 2 minutes. Stick and stay.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Last season, UNLV quarterback Armani Rogers gave fans a glimpse of what he can do, but this is a talent that's only scratching the surface.
The man at the controls of the Rebel offense is in exactly the position he wants to be. Armani Rogers enters year 2 as QB1 and comes in better prepared for success.
What's different in year 2 compared to year 1?
The difference is just knowing everything, more comfortable with the college speed. Last year the year before that rather, I was straight out of scout team, and it's more practice speed and game speed are kind of two different things. So now from last year, from the first game to this year, I know exactly what to expect, how things are going to go. I know the offense like the back of my head. I know defense as well, and it's just more confident.
Last season, Rogers had the Rebels on the verge of a bowl game, but 3 losses that could have easily been wins still linger in his memory.
I don't want to linger on it too much, but you still want to have that taste in the back of your mouth, and you just want to keep moving forward from there, because you know what we seen the light. And we don't want to go back to not seeing the light again. We was at the end of the tunnel, and we could see the light from there. And now this year, we just want to make it throughout the tunnel.
With a dual-threat quarterback comes a physical beating, and Rogers took one at times. But he says the learning curve on knowing that he's not invincible will make him smarter this season.
Just protect myself more this year, rather than taking unnecessary hits, getting out of bounds if I can, sliding. So last year, I was young and reckless last year, so I was going out there trying to run people over, trying to, I don't know how to say, just reckless out there. But now I know what the toe can do in your body, so I have to go out there and protect myself at the end of the day.
Once the Mountain West season rolls around, Rogers expects to benefit from seeing teams and defenses for a second time. And with the weapons he has on offense, game day can't get here fast enough.
With the run game, it's going to open up the pass game, and then with the pass game, it's going to open up the run game. And then also myself being able to make plays on my feet if something's not there, and I'm just excited for this year.
Excited with the talent around him and expecting big things. Rogers will always be a one-game-at-a-time guy, but he has a vision for the final product.
I feel like we're capable to do a lot of different things this year, and I feel like one of the main things we're going to do this year is get ourselves to a bowl game. And you're going to see it from game 1. You're just going to see us out there competing from the very first snap to the end of the game, and they're going to finish every game this year.
He has such a unique skill set, and I know in talking to other Mountain West coaches throughout the year, he's the guy that they fear when they prepare, and that's a great weapon for you guys to have.
Well, I mean, if you're ever going to have a great football program, you're going to have a great quarterback. I mean, I think you've seen that, and you see it in college, you see it in the NFL. I mean, really, you got to have that piece in place in order to have a lot of success, and we feel we have that with Armani. He's done a great job of learning, being a good leader, developing as a person and as a player, and I think you saw that yesterday, the way he led the team and the things that he did, and the composure that he held the entire time, and he's a big reason we had a chance to win that game yesterday. So as the season goes on, he'll continue to progress, continue to get better, and we're going to lean on him.
He talked about not taking the unnecessary hits, which he did a lot last year. But that's also a fine line, because you don't want him to duck out of bounds. Those a couple extra yards or that extra move might turn into a big play. How do you kind of coach him into making sure that he's smart about saving his body but not sacrificing the potential for what could happen?
Well, that's been a conversation piece with him throughout the summer, just talking to him about, what's going on in the field, what the situation is, what do we need to get accomplished. And obviously, with him, the weird thing is he can score in almost every play. I mean, he gets out in the open field, he can break some tackles. So we just told him to leave it on him. Hey, you're sitting there, if you're apex, you got guys coming downhill, there's not a lot of light around you, go ahead and you can slide in those situations. You get one-on-one, try to make the guy miss. If you got, a couple guys coming, forcing you out of bounds, bounds. There's nothing wrong with running out. If you feel like you can slip it, do it. So it's really up to him to make those decisions. But we told him we are just fine with him sliding and going out of bounds.
We are looking forward to what he's going to be doing this year and in the years to come in the UNLV uniform. We're going to take one final timeout. We're going to have the UNLV Plays of the Week coming up. But as we go to break, here's a look at how other Mountain West teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.
Here we go with the home opener, 6 o'clock, Sam Boyd Stadium on Saturday night. Important for a big crowd to be out there and start to show this team some love, because this is a team that could be doing some good things this year.
No doubt about it. We had a great group of fans that came to the Coliseum yesterday, so that was exciting to see how many Rebel fans were out there. And we really need you guys out there at the game this week to support our boys, and we're going to give you something to cheer about, and it's an exciting deal. So glad college football's here. We need those Rebel fans back out there going Rebels.
That's right. We like to hear it. Get out there early and tailgate and take advantage of that. Should be a fun night out at Sam Boyd Stadium. We're going to break all that down next Sunday in the Reb Zone. Thanks for joining us for this one. We're going to leave you tonight with the UNLV Plays of the Week. Good night.
Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show was presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.